Hi, so I've been asked to answer some questions based on my CCBT online sessions that I've been doing for my anxiety, and I'm just doing this video to help out somebody. So I'm going to read out the questions and then answer them from my own experiences. So the first question is, have you had a therapist-led CBT before? And I haven't as such, but I did see a psychiatrist couple of years ago, and I had only 2 sessions with her because after speaking to her in person, it felt like what she told me, I was able to kind of learn a bit more about anxiety from myself and help myself cope with it because I knew what it was. And that was the main problem, was that I didn't know what it particularly it was and why it was happening, and I didn't really know much about it. I didn't even know there was a word for it. I just thought that that was what I had happening to me. And at first I thought I had bipolar, but then after doing questionnaires, she told me it was anxiety and depression and not bipolar. Next question is, did you find it helped you? If so, how? Like I just said, it did help, and obviously it wasn't a full CBT session as such, it was just seeing a psychologist. So what I did see of her, it did help me with what she told me, and it was because she was kind of informing me on what was happening to myself and why it was happening, and I kind of got a better understanding of what was happening to myself, that I could kind of learn how to deal with it from things that she told me, like things that I should do. She showed me things to look up online, and she gave me lots of booklets to read, so it was a lot of self-taught things that actually helped me from her. Next question is, how was CCBT different? The CCBT I've now completed, so it's a good job that I'm doing this now, and I think it's helped a lot because it was something that I could do in my own time. It was something that I could do activities with, so I could have my own personal goals and personal triggers that I was experiencing, and I could kind of go back to things that I'd written down and keep logs of everything. And it was good because everything was on a computer login, so that you have your own login and you can go on it and it'll have everything you've previously put on there, and everything's in video, so you can watch a video of a woman talking and she would be probably telling you the same kind of things as what you would hear if you went to see a psychiatrist. Only difference is you can't actually speak to them personally about your personal problems or any personal experiences. So she just kind of talks about the main things that people struggle with or may be experiencing. Next question is, what were your initial thoughts and feelings before starting the CCBT? At first I was hopeful that it would help me. I was a little bit skeptical as to whether it would work because I'd never done anything like that before, and I was really hoping that it would work. So in my head I was doubting a little bit that I wouldn't be able to successfully get any help from it, but at the same time I had to kind of try and stay hopeful that it would work, and it did massively. Next question is, what program did you use and what did you like the most about it? And I'll kind of come back to the other part where I liked mostly that it was done in your own time and that you could go back and look at previous things that you've done, and the fact that obviously it was in the steps, so you could kind of know that, okay, I'm halfway through, or I need to kind of work on that step before I move on. You can kind of, judge it yourself how you personally are experiencing it. The program, I think, was called Jupiter, and it was a fear fighter program. So it was called Fear Fighter, the actual sessions, I suppose. Next question is, was there anything you didn't like or thought that could be improved? And the only thing that I think could have been improved was probably having the option as to whether do the phobia section, because there was a phobia section of things that maybe you are always avoiding because you are scared of it, and it could be a thing, it could be a feeling, or it could be kind of just something that you do, like an act that you do, like just going to a certain place. You probably don't want to do that, like going to the dentist. People avoid doing things like that. Or it could be a thing like a spider, or it could be something that happens, like you getting kind of spoken to in public, or things like that. And it was a little bit difficult for me to pick a phobia because I don't really have anything particularly that I am afraid of. So it was a little bit difficult for me to actually choose something like that for the exposure side, and that was the exposure side was where you expose yourself in kind of different levels of the thing you're afraid of to eventually get to the point where your body doesn't get scared of it anymore, and you reach that point. It's called habitation, where your anxiety level decreases to a point where it kind of stays the same, but it's a lower kind of point of what you would normally get. The only thing I could really choose for that was driving in the car, because I'd kind of not drove for a while, and the thought of getting back in the car was kind of a little bit daunting. And because I was in my boyfriend's car, which was bigger than my old car, I was really, really nervous about it, and I would try and avoid getting into the car and driving it. So I'd always make him drive or let him drive. So that was what I chose, and it was good for measuring because it was something I could say, okay, I'll do 5 minutes, then I'll bump it up to 10 minutes, then I'll bump it up to 15, then I'll bump it up to half an hour but with him in the car, then I'll do half an hour without him in the car, and it was things like that that you could measure and keep a tab of what you're doing. So in that case, that was kind of a good thing to do. Like, the exposure therapy works, but I didn't really think of anything else that I could do. But the main thing that helped me was the breathing techniques, because I get more physical symptoms than mental symptoms. So I'll get like racing heart for no reason and things like that, and kind of like not like out of breath, but sort of like I'll be trying to catch my breath as such. So the breathing exercises that they teach you were the most helpful to me personally, and the challenging your negative thoughts, because when I did get the mental side of it, where I was kind of thinking over the top about something, I'm now able to kind of bring logic back into the way I was thinking and reduce the amount I was getting worked up about. Did it help overall? I think that was kind of just answering that question. So I do think it's helped overall. I don't get anxious as often anymore, and when I do, I know the difference now between when it's a normal anxiety or whether it's me just overthinking things, because anxiety is normal, and that's what you kind of need to remember, is because you kind of think that you're doing something wrong or there's something wrong with you, but there's not something wrong with the anxiety, it's the level and how much you're getting anxious and the reasons behind it, because some reasons are normal and they're the right reasons. Like, you're going to have a needle, for example, you would get anxious about that if you don't like needles. That's normal. But if you are just anxious because you might get a needle and there's no actual reason for you to get the needle, but you're just scared, for example, for no reason, thinking, oh, I might get a needle one day, but yeah, that might happen, but why are you worrying about it now? It doesn't matter now because you're not doing it. And that's kind of the things that I was getting personally. I was worrying about things, and it was not necessarily going to happen, or it was going to happen, but it wasn't happening yet. And it was kind of those kind of future worries that I was getting. Next thing is your thoughts and feelings after CCBT. Now, and it's got in brackets, ongoing. Obviously, I've completed the program, but if I need to go back, I said before, I can go back onto it, so that's not a problem. If I get like I'm getting worse again, or I'm forgetting some of the techniques or some of the ways to challenge your thoughts, then I can always go back to that and I can refresh my memory. So I'm happy that I can do that, because it gives me that little bit of relief that I don't have to think, right, that's finished now and I can never go back to it. I've just got to keep remembering it, because obviously you don't always remember things. So, and that's kind of the reason why I went bad again, was because what I got told by the psychiatrist, some of it got forgotten, and then my brain was going overboard again, and that's when I got worse again. So I needed to kind of remember things, if that makes sense, and this has helped me. So it is nice to know that you can go back to it, and I feel good now I've finished it. I feel a lot better, and even my boyfriend's noticed that I'm better with how I'm dealing with things and how I am just in general. He can see the difference. Last question is, how would you compare CBT to CCBT if you've done both? Like I say, I haven't done both, so I can't really compare it. But the only thing I can probably say is CBT, to me, from what I've heard, is obviously more human based. So you kind of see somebody about it, and you can kind of talk to a person about it rather than watching something and being kind of told things, but you have no response for that. You have to just kind of take it in and learn by yourself, I suppose. The only good thing about CCBT in that respect is that you do get a phone call every couple of weeks or whenever you can make it, that they kind of talk to you through how you're getting on, and then they kind of answer any questions you've got. So you can always make notes of what you want to ask that person, to kind of get your input out there, so you can get what you're feeling personally, because everyone's different. You can get your own experiences and questions to a person who can then give you feedback. And there was a lot of things that I got from a person that the CCBT didn't mention, and I learned bits of extra stuff from them that I didn't learn on the online ones. So it's always good to have that human connection with somebody, so you can kind of, I don't know, it just sounds and it feels better coming from a person than it does from a computer screen. The computer was good, like I say, it has helped me, and the phone calls have kind of given it that extra help for me. But personally, I think it is a lot better to see somebody, because you're actually talking to a human who may understand completely how you feel. They may have it themselves, and it's easier to kind of grasp when somebody is personally there with you, kind of describing it. So that was all the questions. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped a few people and answered questions that maybe other people have got about CCBT. So thanks for watching. Bye.